Big button time?
Big button.
For
Big
sure,
button.
everybody asks the same question, says the same answers.
This man furnished the
For
food,
you.
doesn't he get?
I don't know, yeah, I just
Don't
know
you get
food.
dispensation?
Yeah.
Well, just to give you a context as to where we are in this presentation, we've just talked about all the bad news out there. So we're gonna now make a transition to some action points, okay? So that wasn't under 5 minutes. Right? So what are we talking about here? We're talking about, well, let's say physicians. You know how physicians, they kind of put burns in different degrees? We're talking about 3rd degree suffering here today. In America, we suffer 0.5, maybe, when somebody gives us a cross look or something like that because we went to church or we smell like church. These people are suffering with 3rd degree suffering. That's the bad news, and you've heard it, and we're going to talk now about some action points. And there's really just a few points, and I would love to make an acronym out of them, but they all start with, they don't start with vowels, so it's going to be remember, it's going to be pray, we're going to talk about reading, doing, and giving. So that would make a really strange acronym, wouldn't it? The first one, remember. The Bible tells us, right, to remember. Hebrews chapter 13 says, remember those in chains. So remember, that's the way you start, right? You start by remembering. And then we move on to praying. And there's several things that you can do to help yourself pray. You can get involved, get people involved in a prayer group at church. You can assign somebody or have somebody be the head of a prayer group at church for the persecuted church. You can have, maybe at your Bible study, maybe somebody would like to take that up. Take 5 minutes every Bible study and set that time aside for prayer. That's great. What about reading? Reading is really good. Well, we have Voice of the Martyrs, that's our ministry. That's our ministry, is to make you aware of what's going on out there. We're a bridge. That's all we are. And you can read. You can use our resources, and that would help you. In fact, reading will help you pray. That's for sure. Let me give you just a couple of ideas what you can do and how you can use our ministry for reading. We have a free publication that comes out once a month. I like to say it's free and it's priceless as well. And also we also have publications for children, Kids of Courage, which comes out quarterly, and it features a country, and it features things in there like recipes and all kinds of cultural things for the kids to understand and learn about another country. And that's a great way to open up the rest of the world to your children. So you're reading as adults, you're reading our publication, The Voice of the Martyrs, and they're reading Kids of Courage. We've also got a wonderful bookshop for you on our website, persecution.com. Go there, Google us. We're the first one, you'll be glad to know. We come up first. Persecution.com, open that up, take a look at our bookstore. We've got all kinds of great resources for you. All kinds of great resources. We've got books about Iran, books about North Korea, great stuff. Again, if you can go in there and just pick some of those books out, you'll have something to pray about, believe me. You'll have something to pray about. So we want you to remember, we want you to pray, and we want you to read. But on top of that, we want you to give. We want you to give as your heart directs you to. If your heart, after reading and praying and getting together with fellowshipping with folks, talking about the persecuted church, remembering, doing all those things, and you're drawn to give, there's a couple of things you can do to give. It's a couple of ministries you can give to. One of them we like to call VOM or VO Medical. VO Medical. What that does is it sends money directly to doctors and supporting of doctors that go into areas where people are hurt and burned, 3rd degree burns. People maybe have broken bones. It takes money to get doctors into these remote areas. A lot of money. So, and you remember we talked about that earlier in our presentation about some burn victims in Indonesia. That's a perfect example. So remember that in your mind. That's what the VOM Medical does. Your money goes right to that. How about Families of Martyrs? That's another great fund that you can contribute to. Families of Martyrs goes directly to the family left behind by the loss of their breadwinner. And we talked about that in Pakistan. You know that Christians already live on the outskirts of society. They're already out there. They don't have welfare, folks. They don't have unemployment. They don't have pension funds. These families, when they're Christians and they're put to the outskirts of society, now they lose their breadwinner, they're in really deep trouble, and that's where the families of martyrs go. That's the money goes right to that. Helps those families that lose their father or husband or brother because of persecution. Those are two great funds you can give to, Families of Martyrs and VOM Medical. And finally, do action, do Bibles Unbound. We have a program called Bibles Unbound.
Keep going. Finish your thought.
Bibles Unbound. For only $30 a month, you can send 5 Bibles to China or North Korea. We like to do that at our church. We like to actually corporately get involved in that. And we have like 5 or 6 families that take a Bibles Unbound package once a month, and they take it home with them, and they pray over it, and then they send it out. It's a great way to get your whole church involved, but you can be involved with it as a family as well, or as an individual. Bibles Unbound, or you can even write a prisoner in prison in his own language or her own language. That's awesome. So see me after the worship service. We'll talk about those things. We'll unfold those things for you and help you to do those kinds of things. Remember, pray, read, give, do.
Very good. One thing, put the glasses down. Waving them around. It's very distracting.
I'm sorry.
Because your tongue was so good.
I'm getting ready to go over here and read this. I'm thinking, well, I don't need to read this. So
That's the same response. What's he gonna do with his glasses?
See, it kept you engaged.
I liked your tone, Mark.
But it was,
I liked it.
so good.
It's very good.
You've done this more than once too.
Yeah, I think so. He's done this before.
Well, I have found that we've gotten better responses. You go into a church and
Did you keep your glasses like
yeah,
that?
nobody's ever said anything about my glasses, but you get better response when you don't. When I've gone in with a PowerPoint and a straight presentation, and whenever they, Larry and I talked about it, whenever they have not had the technology to do the PowerPoint and just a straight presentation, we've got much better response. For some reason, I don't know what that is.
That's fascinating.
Isn't it? I mean, more people have signed up.
That helps us keep your
I
glasses
think it is. I
right
think
there.
They see your passion. They see your passion.
maybe that's because when I'm looking at the PowerPoint, I
Right.
get my back turned, and I should say give to BOM or something like
It's
that.
like they're talking to us.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Your use of humor was really good. That's
Oh,
something
yes.
You had
Yeah.
in there. It's just
I
kind of
just don't want it to be irreverent.
No, I mean, it
Oh,
was
it
good.
was good.
Yeah. One thing that I saw a little bit in you, just maybe nobody else noticed it, but it's because I have it really bad sometimes when I speak, is what I call a swallowing tic,
Mhm.
where you swallow more pronounced than you do just in normal conversation, something, because you're trying to get your saliva going, because you're talking fast,
Right,
you know. So
right.
I have it really bad sometimes. I'm watching myself in video, I can hardly stand it, but I saw a little bit in you, and I have no idea how to get over it. So maybe it's here, somebody else who knows, but
Just
Well,
chew gum.
some of it is the same thing we kind of told you. Slow down. Yeah, slow down. That really helps because if you have to stop and think, you'll make that saliva, not be a constant thing you're trying to get rid of.
There's nothing wrong with the pause.
Right.
No,
There is
nothing.
in music.
It's called dramatic effect.
Yeah, in music, it's the,
That's right, that's
it's
right.
the pause, the rest is part of the music.
Also, I always have a glass of water with me. If I get up there without a glass of water, I'm done for. I get cotton mouth so bad.
that's okay for him, but not for you, Bill, okay?
Yeah. Okay, a glass of water and a roll of paper towels.
Bill, that wasn't nice. I wasn't.
So with that though, you have to be really careful when you go into a church and you ask for a glass of water, that the people there don't know you. You want them not to know you. Because if they know you, they're gonna pull a practical joke on you,
Oh,
like they
wow.
did Larry.
Oh, wow.
They got him a drink of water. It was a sippy cup.
Oh, no.
I didn't pay any attention. I'm talking away. I'm starting to get dry. I reach down and I pick it up. Oh.
And the whole church cracked up.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Joe, are you ready?
All righty.